Previously on Lancer. Our Lancers ended their battle with the warriors of the Agate Cross in an uneasy truce thanks to a shaky lie told by Prince Derrick. When our Lancers followed the smoke signals back to the scientist base, they discovered the main lab up in flames and Alice and Dr. Russell missing in action. Now our Lancers are left to discover the truth with danger lurking very close to home. Since we last left you, Lancers, back at the scientist base on Hagar, about half an hour has passed. All of the flames have now been extinguished thanks to 18,000 and Decency's quick thinking. Now charred remains of Terminator-like androids are sort of twisting around. Some of them are maybe trying to get up, but their legs have been either charred or snapped off in the very unique firefighting practice. But more or less, things have, at least the immediate chaos has quieted down, and the four of you are left to survey the wreckage, and you finally met back up again, having your mechs parked out back near the ship that took you from Belena to here. So the four of you finally have a moment to collect yourselves and your thoughts.
I think Decency has ejected from their mech and maybe has picked up one of the robots or robot parts. I'm kind of imagining like a
torso
half
or legs?
body.
Which one, bottom or top?
And they lifted it up. Which is let's do torso, I guess. I think that probably is cooler. Legs is funnier. Let's go for cooler. And is kind of holding it at arm's length and looking at it, and I think we'll just say, let's ask one of them about these, and head nod towards the scientists inside who are not meant to see them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just to get all of our facts straight here. Fish, your mom is missing. Bertrand Russell is also missing. We were told that there was not automatons, whatever these are, in this ship. Should we be worried about that?
So are you talking to Fish's hard suit?
I mean, I think I would talk to Fish.
So Fish isn't, you don't see Fish right now. I think like as you peer into the hard suit, you don't see Fish in there.
I think I like knock on the hard suit and I'm like, yoo-hoo.
Empty.
Anybody
empty.
home?
The neck is empty.
Okay. Decency. Have you seen Fish?
Have I seen Fish? Ben, I guess.
I can't answer that question.
I guess I could like read a situation to see if I think I would know where Fish is, but we were together, I guess, right before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that unless Fish is let's go ahead and have you do a roll for read the situation.
I roll.
Oh, that is a success.
13.
Okay.
13.
Go ahead and find Decency. I mean, go ahead and Decency and find Fish.
I think actually Decency will just, with the hand holding the robot half, point towards the desk and say, Fish isn't hiding.
Okay. Decency, Hatuey, if you can come over here, and then Derrick, like, yoga squats next to this desk, but just inches off of the floor. And
I think it's one of those desks too that has like a full shroud around like three of the sides.
His head is under the desk, the rest of him is not. And he's like, okay, Fish, your mom's missing, so's Bertrand Russell, there shouldn't be these robots here. And then there was a fire,
and someone took the ship out of here.
Mm-hmm. What you are saying is my mother is missing.
And I would say she's probably also to blame.
I mean, it's a definite possibility.
We saw how cagey she and was about people learning about these androids. And, I mean, we found what was inside. And we come back and see there was a huge distraction as well as the ship missing along with her and Birdie. I have a bad feeling about this. I feel like we should try to find them as quickly as possible.
When they are found, I will be in trouble.
With your mother?
Why would you be in trouble, Fish?
We were asked directly not to show the contents of the drone ship to the scientists.
We were also asked to kill everyone, which in hindsight feels like the wrong move to have made in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Fish, I don't think someone set fire to the lab and ran away, maybe, in a rocket because we were going to show the scientists these robots. So I don't think that you need to be sad about what's happening right now, but I hear where you're coming from.
I have a question for you, Julia, and it's, did any of the scientists get injured? Like, do we know that?
Let's go ahead. I'm curious, actually. I'm going to do a quick roll for that, because I haven't really thought about it. Let's go ahead.
And I could use Spot to, like, look around myself also, if we wanted to do that.
Alrighties, I got a pretty high roll, so I'm going to go ahead and say that actually only a couple of scientists seem to have been at all injured in the particular firefighting, and those wounds seem to be what we might describe as flesh wounds. You know, a few people probably have some burns from the actual fire itself, and one or two may have perhaps like a burn from being hit with scalding, flaming hot android, but nobody is dead or will die from these injuries. All in all, I think you did pretty well considering the situation, is what I think. But I don't know how Fish feels about that.
I mean, I think Fish just like pokes his nose out like the like sliver of this desk, like that is between the floor and the shroud, and it's just like, I still believe I will be in trouble.
I guess I'm more worried about your mom being in trouble or being the cause of trouble. One or the other. It could go either way. But I think we should maybe find her and see if we can sort this out. Don't you?
But Hatuey, you said that you think my mother did this.
Yeah, just being honest, Fish, yeah.
I love that Hatuey's total vibe is like, being respectful is being direct. Yes, your mom is a cold-hearted bitch.
Yeah, he's not gonna lie about it. He's like, it's not gonna help anything.
Actually, on that note, a scientist, one of the ones you recognize from the front of the room, Derrick, maybe the one you gave your speech to, like, we got this, you go there, and you go there, enters the room and sees the four of you. Or I guess the three of you. She doesn't see Fish under the desk. I was wondering if, well, you see, we managed to set up some cameras in here right before. It was one of the rooms we managed to set up in the past few days, and well, it looks like we got a little bit of footage before the explosion. I was wondering if you wanted to see. I'm not gonna lie, we're all a little nervous to take a look. We're not sure what we might see on there.
The snout comes back out.
As the UNIO officials assigned to this situation, I think we should definitely look this over. Yeah. And he like turns to the rest of the group and he's like, that's what we should say, right?
Yes, just gives like absolutely. A thumbs up and he nods. Yeah.
And Decency will hold forward the robot and say, and also we'd like to know what you can tell us about this.
Right. The answer is nothing. I know you probably won't believe me, but none of us have any idea what these things are. We really thought, and we're told by Dr. Russell, that ship had supplies on it, biocompounds, for our experiments. We've never seen anything like these.
Oh, I believe you. But could you just, like, look it over? Y'all are smart, right?
Not really. That's sort of a misconception. We're just educated in particular fields. And anyway, I've always thought there's many kinds of intelligence. And yeah, we can look it over.
I'm immediately charmed.
The scientist is excellent.
Yes.
10 out of 10. Let's adopt this scientist.
Okay, well, she's so excellent. So, by the way, you can follow me. The scientist goes up to Decency and puts out her arms. I'm Allison, by the way. I can take that if you want me to.
I could carry it to where you'd like it. If you'd like.
It looks heavy. I just figured, but obviously not that you can't carry it. You clearly, Anyway, Allison, as you remember, all these scientists were wearing these kind of parkas, and they mostly have these little sort of Bjorns, right? These cat Bjorns. Allison's little cat, a little black cat, actually, with a tiny little white star on his head, just sort of, now he's asleep, of course, because he is one of the 18,000, just sort of meows and pokes his little nose up. Oh, sorry.
No, it's cute. He's cute. He's cute.
She tucks the little cat back in.
Derrick would, if we're fine to do a walk and talk to, West Wing this and also get the robot to where it needs to be. He would take the video file, whatever it's on, and then start projecting it on his bill as like a heads up display, like he does with the emojis and shit, so that it's available for everyone to see as they walk and talk.
You
through.
bet. So Allison has handed Derrick, then, who I assume has put out his hand for it, has handed Derrick the chip that's going to have the video file. Very standard, fits into most bills. You've got, of course, that jack in your bill.
Yeah, he's got a little slot. Pops the micro SD in there. It's great.
HDMI, USB, USB-C, future micro SD card right there, and. And Derrick, as you are walking along, you see a large white wall is there, and it's mostly the length of the hallway. So actually, you can keep projecting the footage as you walk towards the entrance.
Yeah.
The footage starts, and the footage is it's overhead security camera footage. Clearly, the camera was set up somewhere, probably in the corner of the lab, to oversee most of the goings on, and you can in fact see the window that once was, which has now been busted through by individuals who shall not be named. Now, the first bit of the footage, Allison explains. See, right, for the first about 25 minutes, it's normal. They're looking around the lab, talking, obviously. But then she goes ahead and she sort of pokes at Derrick's bill. Is there a fast forward?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I assumed you had clipped it to the... and he starts fast forwarding the feed.
Okay.
Is it sort of like a Daffy Duck turning the bill situation to fast forward and rewind?
I think there's probably some... like small buttons along the left and right side of the bill as it protrudes forward. And I think he's like keying things up using an interface on the left side.
But if Derrick were shot in the face, his bill would go to the opposite side.
If he were shot in the face, the bill would go to the opposite side, yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
So the video stops, pauses, and then plays again. And you watch as the sound, it's one of those security cameras where the sound is pretty bad. It's a little muffled. Perhaps like there is the microphone, the external microphone wasn't installed yet for this camera. And so you can't really hear what they're saying. But as Allison narrates, here's where things get a little weird. And you watch as Alice, Dr. Russell turns his back on her. He's going to a cabinet to take out what looks like, some kind of standard, maybe a bit of a plant or something inside of a glass jar. And Alice reaches for what looks like a jar, a labeled jar on a shelf unit. And then she grabs another one. She you can see quickly, there's urgency in her actions. She unscrews both of these jars. Those are 2 compounds, pretty standard in our lab, especially for the work we do. The thing is that combining them, it turns it into a bit of and then you see Alice very quickly, and Dr. Russell turns and sees, she pours one compound into the other and then chucks it at him. At that point, of course, the camera goes dead.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. And I think Derrick stops moving for a second and turns to look at Fish. The projection also turns to look at Fish, perhaps of an explosion.
It's like playing over Fish's face.
And he's like, okay, so that doesn't look great for your mom in terms of not starting the fire. But, maybe there's a reasonable explanation for this, or maybe we need to lock your mom up. I don't really know.
Many cats starve when their owners are arrested.
Oh, we wouldn't let that happen to you, Fish. You can always stay with me.
I appreciate that. I would not like to starve.
And he again does the yoga squat to get down on Fish's level, and he says, I wouldn't like to starve either. And he offers some head scritches.
Yeah, Fish is walking out from under the desk now.
So I guess this is, let's see if I can find a way to use read a situation in literally everything I do. Can I look for anything else in the video using read a situation? Like looking for the emotion?
Oh, read in a situation, or Spot. I think also, if anyone here has Spot,
I also got Spot, yeah.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and see what you guys can get. What about you, Derrick? Do you have any sort of any triggers? No,
got hacker fix.
It's a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing you're a hacker himbo. It's a good thing you're handsome. Anyway.
Cat care? Can you hold cat care?
Let's go ahead and start with decency. Okay, Tristan, go ahead and roll for read a situation. I'll try to use everyone's triggers specifically to give you something about the video that would apply to that trigger.
Cool. It's a 12.
Hell yeah, that is a success. Decency, you ask Derrick to readjust so that the video can play again on the wall where we can all see it. And Allison set it up so that the interesting part can loop. And you do see, as you're watching this, that there is a moment where Alice, who you don't know Alice particularly well, but you do know that she is a very cool customer, and she seems to have an excellent poker face. And so I think that anyone who wasn't looking very, very hard would never notice it. But you do notice that at a particular moment, right before Alice sort of makes her way over to the shelf with the compounds, her facial expression does change. You would say that there's a tightening in her jaw. Perhaps her eyes are sort of a little wider. You might even say that these are fear responses.
I think I'll turn back to Fish, and Decency is still carrying half of the robot, and probably never bends down on Fish's level, probably always stands pretty at attention, and just will look down and say, your mother seems to care about you deeply. I don't understand why she'd put you in this situation if she thought it would end like this. And I think the video is inconclusive. She's frightened by something.
Perhaps she was made to do this. Perhaps it was her job.
Maybe.
Hatuey and Fish, do you want to use Spot to see if you can see more?
I got a 15.
Oh, awesome.
13.
Okay, Hatuey. Oh, you also got a 15, Fish?
13, yeah.
13, excellent. All right, let's start with Hatuey. So Hatuey, you are watching the video as well. And at a certain point, you are watching, I would say, for the exact moment where right before the screen goes out, when the explosion should have taken out the camera. And you're watching, and you do see that, strangely enough, usually when people have something thrown at their face, the natural reaction is to cover your face. But Dr. Russell does not do that. Dr. Russell just Dr. Russell watches it come at his face, and instead, Dr. Russell sort of crouches over in an odd way, sort of as if he were trying to duck. But it doesn't make a lot of sense that one should try to duck. It doesn't matter anyway. You do see the compound comes into contact with the side of his head. And we're going to go ahead and say Fish. You notice as you're watching the video that your mother, that Alice, her hands are shaking as she's a little bit as she's looking in this cabinet here. She's not being deliberate, but she's also not being picky. You can see that she sort of barely reads the labels, and it definitely sees from this. You can I would say assume that there's a level of improvisation happening here.
Julia, I wonder, with hack or fix, could I try to increase the audio level?
Oh, you know what? I thought you were going to be like, with hack or fix, can I also see something? Because I feel left out. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's try to see if we can try to enhance
audio. Ooh, no. Even with my +6, that is a 9. Never mind. He's just
Derrick?
dicking around, and the audio gets louder, but it's just mic pops. It's not anything useful.
Allison is trying to stop you. Oh, we didn't have the microphone. No, it's not. That isn't. You're just getting. That's just white noise. It's just back. It's just back.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he turns it back down.
I don't know why. I mean, the two of them, they go back years, decades.
Okay, I know we need to check out this robot, and that's great. Is there any log from the takeoff of the rocket that we can use to map a trajectory?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean our transport vessel?
Yeah,
the one that brought us here. Mm-hmm. We tried. The black box has been disabled.
Well, that's suspicious.
That's the thing. Whoever took it had to have known how to do that. The only people are people here.
But the people who did it are people from here because they were here.
That should be true. The thing is, you saw the footage as well as I did. The compound that Dr. Sabri put together. You saw what it did to the lab. If it hit somebody, there's no way that Dr. Russell should be alive.
So a question, a little more detail about the results of my role. Is there anything that would make me think that his response was inhuman in any way, or was it not that far?
I would say that the response is definitely not what a normal human would do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Hatuey will say that might be true for a normal person, but I'm not so sure that applies to Birdie. Fish, your mom may just not be a person I like. That might be simply the end of that, but I think something else might be going on with Birdie. Maybe they were in together on something and then something fell out. I don't know. I just want to figure out what's going on. But yeah, Birdie might have more going on than we realize, so I don't think we should count him out just yet.
If he were alive, would he not be on the transport vessel?
He may have been at some point.
If he were dead, could his corpse be on the transport vessel? Regardless, evidence is on the transport vessel.
Yes, I see your point. I just don't know how we can trace it at this point.
All of these scientists are not from our planet, whose name is...
Shamu.
No, Shamu. So sorry. And the
he's
city
only
is
an
Belena.
icon. Yes.
He is an icon. All of these scientists are not from Shamu, correct? Like they're from all over, maybe?
They're from all over. Like none of them, you don't know in particular if anyone is from Alpha Pisces, the Alpha Pisces system. They're from all over.
Okay. The thing that I would turn and ask Fish, I would be like, okay, you're connected to like all of these cats that are in these cat Bjorns, right?
Yes.
But they all sleep when you're awake, right?
Fish gestures up to the cat on Allison's Bjorn and says, yes.
Okay.
Sock is asleep.
What about Birdie's cat Bjorn?
Was he wearing it in the video?
You couldn't see, but he's the hoodie. The Bjorn is built into the parka, and therefore, yes, he was.
If you like went to sleep and focused real hard, could you figure out where Birdie's cat is? If the cat is? And Derrick like looks again to the image of the explosion that he's projecting.
Fish like perks up, like ears up, ears out, ears up again, and says, I was thinking about this recently. I have never remembered death. However, I remember the moments before death. If I do sleep tonight, I will remember the moments before death.
Oh my God.
They will not be useful memories, but I will remember them.
They might be useful in this instance.
You may not understand this, but a day to a cat, in sapient terms, is... Do you remember your days as a child, as a baby? They are like that to me.
When Fish says this, one of the sliding doors swings open. A sliding door swings open.
I liked it. I liked the choice.
My prose is impeccable, people. This is why I write plays. Prose is not my thing. Time is all the dialogue, baby.
So the sliding door
It's a new
swings
conspiracy
open,
theory for Hatuey.
blown off its hatches.
Sliding doors that swing open.
A sliding door splits apart, and in runs another scientist from the front of the facility. Where's there they are, the Lancers. You need to come with me. We've just gotten a transmission. It's from Belena.
Okay.
All of you, I assume, run into the front room to receive this transmission. It is on the scientists' large screen television that they keep at the front of the facility, probably for comparing data or maybe watching Netflix when it's a slow day. And you enter, and one of the scientists, you see the video has already been going. It's looping, and there's this video that's being streamed. You assume from Belena, like the scientist said. The video it's very it's dark, and there's sort of like a faint kind of teal bluish light. It's like whoever is recording this, they're in a place with not a ton of like emergency lights have come on wherever this person is. The video itself is sort of you're looking in at it, and you're sort of trying to get images, like the image is trying to come through, and you're trying to see in the darkness more or less adjust, and you hear a faint voice far off. All right, I think there it is. A big and more emergency lights, more lights from above come on. And now you recognize this place very well. This is the employee tram station at UNIO headquarters. The tram is sort of a unique and a cute little apparatus that can take you employees from the main offices to sort of off-campus cafeterias and other facilities, including the mech hangar. The lights come on, and you can see in the far distance, against the back wall of the tram station, many of the trams have been pushed over. It looks like they've been sort of ripped off the tracks and tossed around like you might a model train station. Behind the trams are two very powerful-looking mechs that you haven't seen before, and they're sort of a pearlescent gray and silver. One of them is white and sort of has many legs coming out. And there's one in particular in the middle that's very impressive. It's a very tall and lithe model with two swords at its side. And most impressive is its clearly customed face plate, which is shaped with a large sort of snout coming out of it, sort of like an animal face almost. In the darkness, the camera adjusts a little bit, and you think you may have already recognized the voice, but this makes it clear. Although the framing is a little odd, you are met with a familiar face. Dr. Bertrand Russell stares into the camera. However, only half of his face is in the frame. He seems to be strategically positioning the camera to only show the left side of his face, the side that wasn't hit with the compound. Hello there. Dr. Bertie Russell here. You might know me or not. I mostly kept to myself back in my days, working on various military projects for places like here, like UNIO. One of my favorite I recently came back into contact with, and my word, it brought back quite a few memories I don't particularly enjoy. I doubt they enjoy them now either, do you? And he flips the camera around, and against the back wall, you see various UNIO higher-ups and those who work specifically in weapons development. They seem to be not just chained to the wall, but one of their arms seems to be in a full-scale kind of like restraint that is trapped and magnetized, I'd say, against the wall. There's no way, it's all the way up to the shoulder. There's no way they can get out of this thing. The camera pans over, and in the middle of this group, there is Alice, Fish's mother, also restrained. Half of her hair seems to be kind of singed off. Her lab coat is sort of in burned tatters. It's clear that there has been some damage done to her. She doesn't look too hurt, but clearly the fire got to her in some respect. And the camera keeps panning, and at the far end is Vera. Vera, as you know, your immediate superior at UNIO, who is also restrained against the wall there in this tram station. The camera flips back around on Dr. Bertrand Russell. Remember, only half of his face, the left half, is showing. I've already shut down the mech hangar here at UNIO, and if any other Lancers should try to break into the building, well, I'll kill the hostages one by one. There's only one Lancer I want to see in here, and I think he knows who he is. The one known as 18,000. You have a time limit. This evening, 6 o'clock, come to the tram station here at the UNIO HQ, and we can settle the past.
Are the comms open? Like, is this a one-way message or is this a two-way? Like,
it's a one. It's ooh, wait, guys, what's more interesting? Let's do a two-way. It's more interesting if it's two-way. Let's do that. Hey, guys, this is what you get to do when you make up the story.
Yeah.
It's a two-way.
Yeah. Fish walks like right up to the camera, like a little too close to it, like probably looks really stupid, like nose in the camera, but thinks it looks cool. Because I assume this is not a camera that you can see two-way, and just says, Bertie, if you harm my mother, I will cut you in half. I have seen you shit. I will describe it to the world, and then I will cut you in half and kill you.
Oh, Fish. Sweet, sweet Fish. How did you get so vile? I don't remember making you like that.
You did not make me. Many people made me.
Well, many people made you an awful little thing that needs to be taken off the face of the planet. Now come here and let me do what I've wanted to do for years, Fish.
You will have to kill more than me to kill me.
Oh, Fish. You have no idea who you're talking to? Not at all, do you?
You are Dr. Bertrand Russell. I know exactly who you are.
You have your deadline. And then the camera goes dead.
Do y'all think we're going to get paid?
As Decency says, are we gonna get paid? Derrick again walks up to Fish, does the yoga squat, puts a hand maybe on his shoulders, the high on the back of the cat, and says, "We're gonna save your mom, Fish. I think. Really hope."
And I think meanwhile Hatuey is just pacing back and forth. I think he's usually pretty cool. I think he usually keeps his cool, and he's just I'm gonna get that guy. I'm sorry what I said about Alice. I still don't think I'll ever really like her, but this clearly isn't her fault. We need to go. I don't like that guy. Hey, Allison, do we think Android, Birdie, same? Is he one of them? Is that possible?
The entire room goes quiet at Hatuey's rant. Hi. I'm Elise. I work in shipping and receiving mostly. Hi. I'm new. I never wanted to say this because I thought that everyone would think I was crazy or something. But the truth is so I get really nervous sometimes, and I hide sort of in the alcove at the bathrooms, and I hide there a lot. And I've actually never seen Dr. Russell use the bathroom, not once.
Derrick does not laugh at this, but Todd thinks this is hilarious.
And I didn't want to say anything because it was really embarrassing and also weird, but now I think it might be something, and I feel really bad I didn't speak up sooner.
Thank you, little quiet girl. You're so right.
Elise, new MVP.
We're adopting all of the scientists.
Fur completely ruffled, tail puffy, but walks up and says if you would like, I can describe him shitting. When he was a human, I did see him shit many times.
Fish, says Allison, I don't think that we can waste time on that right now. You need to get back on the ship and head to Belena right away.
Yeah, shitting or not shitting. Fish, we're gonna kill that guy.
Alrighties, and so the four of you, meanwhile, your mechs will be fully repaired up in our transport vessel, so we can go ahead and make sure that when you guys do reset your mechs in CompCon, my favorite program, you will be full health and full shields, etc., etc. The trip to Belena, once again, is going to take a few hours, and by the time you arrive, it is evening, and you can see the city lights, usually by the time you're about to come into port at UNIO. However, you also see something else, and that is smoke rising from various buildings in Belena. It seems as though already chaos has struck the streets. You are ahead of the deadline, but not by much, only 15 minutes or so. And you're realizing that as you get closer and closer back into Belena airspace, you can see overhead various mechs, and there's more off over here in the city that seem to be wreaking general kinds of havoc. These mechs look as though they are similar in build or color to the ones that you saw on Dr. Russell's video. However, these 6 in particular, Decency notices, are surrounding a particular coffee shop.
Roscoe!
With only 15 minutes to go, the question is, will you split up and will part of the team head towards the meetup spot for the hostages, and the others handle these surrounding the coffee shop?
Can Decency lean over the the console of the ship and then turn back to the group and say, how do y'all feel about landing this ship on those mechs?
Dungeons and Drama Nerds is produced by Todd Backus, Percival Hornak, and Nicholas Orvis, and is mixed and edited by Anthony Sertel Dean. Our Lancer game features Julia Doolittle as the GM, Todd Backus as Derrick McDuck, Jovane Caamaño as Hatuey, Ben Ferber as 18,000/Fish, and Tristan B. Willis as Decency B. Damme. Lancer was written by Miguel Lopez and Tom Parkinson Morgan, and was published by Massif Press. If you'd like to help us continue exploring the intersection of theater and tabletop role-playing games, consider leaving us a review on your podcast app of choice or supporting us, and getting access to our patron-only bonus content, at patreon.com/Dungeons and Drama Nerds. You can find our social media and website links, including our cast bios, at the link tree in our show notes. Be sure to tune in next week for another episode of Dungeons and Drama Nerds.